Mitch Rees. Mitch couldn't compete the first race yesterday. Had a bit of a crash. Good start coming from Jay Lawrence, and he'll lead them into turn one. So Lawrence will lead them, and just coming around the outside of him looked to be Mitch Rees on the Tony Rees motorcycle, Honda Riders Insurance CBR 1000 RRR, as this big field of superbikes heads down the front straight under the laser plumbing and electrical bridge and down into the Foster's turn. It was Jay Lawrence celebrating his 6th wedding anniversary yesterday with wife Rachel, and maybe celebrating a great start here at Hampton Downs. So he will lead them into turn 2, and that is Foster's, as they work their way now through Swampy's curves and up into the Kev's Carousel, the new part of the circuit here at Hampton Downs. Now, where was Damo Rees? Because he did a great job yesterday. Having his first superbike race here in New Zealand. Of course, he is the current 600 champion. He's been racing in Australia in our off-season, but unfortunately had a pretty severe break of his ankle. Great to see him racing again. Of course, they were in Australia last week as a support part of the Superbike World Championships. As the field works its way, 3 on a breakaway at the moment. They go through the high pool hairpin and head down into the Porsche Dipper, and it's still Jay Lawrence in the front. It's the Suzuki now, and I think it might be Scott Moyer that's made his way up at the 2nd place, but difficult to see here as he powers out of the dipper and really puts the acid on Lawrence, and he dives down the inside as they work their way through the sweeper at the bottom end of the circuit. As they come up the hill, we might have a new race leader here in the 2nd Superbike race, and it might just be the Suzuki of Scott Moyer. Have a look as they get just a little bit closer. You'll hear them before you see them as they start rocking up the hill here, and there's absolutely nothing in this. As Moyer has to be right in the trees, but the look of it now might be in the front. In fact, it's Damon Rees in the front. Moyer goes back in a 2nd. Mitch Rees is 3rd. Then it's Sloane Frost, Daniel Merton, out of Australia. Jay Lawrence, well, he got away well, but he's faded just a little bit in that lap, so maybe there was a problem out there on this 4-kilometre journey. So Damon Rees in the front here in Superbike race number 2. They rocket under the bridge and head down into turn 2, and before you can speak, they are virtually into the meat and drink of Swampy's curves. That's the pace that these guys are going. Now, will they buck the trend? Because every race we've seen today has been a new lap record. We've seen lap records in the 600s, in the Super Sport 300 and 250s, in the Gexa Cup, you name it. They've been lap records in everyone. We'll give them a lap to settle themselves down, and I think you'll see this record be broken as well. So it's the Honda out in the front as they work their way out of the double B and head on to the existing circuit. We get a good look at them as they come through the high pool hairpin. Still Damo Rees. Scott Moyer sits in 2nd place. In 3rd place, maybe Sloane Frost has got up in 3rd on the Suzuki. As I said, always difficult to see on the cameras here at Hampton Downs. They work their way out of the Porsche Dipper and down the short chute, but it's a Honda in control. Now the power comes on from the Suzuki of Moyer. He draws closer to Damon Rees as they work their way around the sweeper. Can't get it close enough to pass, though. You'll see them as they come over the top of the hill. It will be the youngest of the Rees clan, the Racing Reeses from Wakatani. It'll be Damo in the front. Scott Moyer should be 2nd as they head on up the track. There's Murray's way up here, taking a bit of time, and that's the way it is as they cross the stripe. Then we go back to Mitch Rees, and then Dan Newton. Just having a look here to see where the points leader Sloane Frost is at the moment. He's back in 5th place, just ahead of Alistair Hugenbotham, and then it's Robbie Bugden, the 5-time New Zealand champion. Yes, we know he's a knocker, and he's riding a Yamaha. We've never seen him in New Zealand on a Yamaha before now.
Of course, 5 times title holder, and when you add the 9 together of Andrew Stroud, that's a 14-year domination of A, Suzuki, and B, just 2 riders. So to see somebody else coming to the fore in this one is very good. Of course, Tony Rees broke the drought last year, and then he suffered that injury at the 2nd round of the Suzuki Series, so out for the summer. So he's not here to retain his title, so it is wide open. The man who's got 2 on his bike was number 2 NZ last year, and it is Sloane Frost to fight his way back. And of course, he's actually now won the last 5 races in a row. 3 at Timaru, 1 at Christchurch, and the 1 here yesterday. So he has established some points credibility. But if he hasn't got quite the perfect start, let's hope he just keeps it cool. A 5th place. No, it's not perfect.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Sloane Frost has just dropped it at the hairpin. I'm pretty sure it's Sloane. But yeah, I think it will.
Oh, he's limping, isn't he? He's limping. He's had his ear cut underneath it.
Well, we just saw Mitch Rees pass him just a couple of corners before. Just get that check, folks. Don't want to panic anybody. It was definitely a Suzuki. Damo's still out in the front. He's back on the bike. They're waiting. He's asking an official to restart him. He'll get going again. He knows the importance of scoring points at every single round. He had a 24-point advantage coming in. We don't want to put the mocker on him. Was it? I'm pretty sure it was Sloane Frost this time around.
Somebody else. We've lost somebody else down at the mantle at the dip as well. Somebody else out in the tree. So let's look out. We're going to have more than Rees. We're going to have to lose 2 of the Damon's Alice Damon indeed. Now, whether we're going to see that on a replay, I think he just broken clear a little bit. He's lost it down. He's going very well away.
He's picking the bike up now, so that's good news for Tony and Vicky.
Wow, so there you go. Wow, and Daniel Meadham's gone as well. Daniel was the one who's down. Daniel, there we go. Sloane's up to third place. So
Okay,
Daniel
my
Meadham.
apologies to Sloane and to Maury and his mum for getting the heart rate working overtime.
There we go. Well, hey, when I quickly that I would add as well, Phil. Hey, we get it wrong. We're not perfect. If we were, we'd be running the country. That's a different story. So here we go for our update of racing at the moment. This is fantastic. Scott Moyer, Mitch Rees, Sloane Frost in there, along with Alistair Hugenboozem. We've lost two of our top riders in the flood of excitement going on. Of course, they won't want to see that in the TT. But if it was Mitch Rees yesterday to crash, now it's been Brother Damon. We haven't had the two of them yet, and the glory of being in the grace at the finish at the end of the day. So here we go with the fantastic DHL Express. 220 countries around the world, fastest express service in the globe, and it's the fastest racing in New Zealand. Superbikes at its blistering brilliant best as we go for it. Scott Moyer, winner of course of the Suzuki Series pre-Christmas event racing here in New Zealand for the highest calibre outside of our national championships.
He's going to turn around his championship form here because you know you mentioned it before, he was nowhere in the first two rounds. They struggled big time. He's come good again, the man from Taupo.
And indeed, an opportunity to be winning a race. Look at the advantage he's got. That was fantastic. Check it out for Scott Moyer. Back in the comfort zone where he should be. As we head to Mitch, then we're looking back to the Sloane there in that third place. Should not be panicking. In fact, if you look at the margin, he's nearly 3 seconds off the pace of his Suzuki teammate. But indeed, the Carl Vandermeer Builders ace out there. Scott Moyer doing very well. So Suzuki, Honda and Suzuki. Remembering Suzuki to all three. Yes, 1, 2, 3. But Estates have got 2 out of the 3 with Mitch Rees in between them. Alistair Hugenboozem on the M1 Motorsport, beautiful BMW. Of course, had a bad crash with that bike through the second race indeed after winning. In fact, he was the first up winner, first race at Ruapuna, and he won it. But coming in on the second day, had a crash on the last corner of the second race of the day, and didn't put him in too good a stead. Of course, wasn't there in contention for the GP title. On the Yamaha, what an honour to have Robbie with us. What an awesome Australian that man is. Jay Lawrence in there for Carl Cox Motorsport. Jaden Carrick, go Wanganui. Wanganui Well Drillers, along with Wanganui Toyota. And the whole of Wanganui getting behind this man with Connor London up there. Livio Zampetta and Jeremy Holmes as part of Team Honda Rees Racing, filling in the place for Tony while he's out with injury on his special Honda CBR 1000 RRSP1. As we go to watch him down through the dipper, beautiful to watch. And look at that, coming up potentially for a change there. Could be a change for some of that minor money. I'm looking out for it because Alistair Hugenboozem putting all the pressure on Sloane Frost. Look for that one. Could it even be a change? I don't think it was, but it could be close to it. But as all this goes on, a little bit like what was happening in the 600s, Phils, I'm expecting to see that Scott Moyer's pulled out a little bit of gap because the others again over each other and just watching what they do. Look at that.
There's Mitch. Yeah, they have. I asked myself the question, would they break the track record? They haven't yet. 1:35, 1:54 is the track record. Fastest man on the racetrack at the moment is Scotty Moyer with a 1:35.206. So he's very, very close to it, but not quite breaking it at this stage. And that's probably got something to do with what's the configuration of the racing. Just a reminder that the exciting season for Legends has started. If you want to make it away to the pavilion, but why you want to leave the track while the superbikes are out there is beyond me, because they are really putting on a show. Scott Moyer, Mitch Rees, Sloane Frost, Alistair Hugenboozem, Robbie Bugden up to 5th. Great stuff. And Jay Lawrence through in 6th place. So no change from the way they crossed the line.
Gotta love it. It is indeed Scott, Mitch, Sloane and Alistair. We call them by their Christian names. I had a comment made yesterday. Always want to be talking by their surnames as well, but I think it's the fact that we know these guys are part of our family. You can get to know them as well, and we can talk about all this time. We just do the nice things. I remember first getting a program many years ago when it used to say in those days S Moyer and M Rees, and it was almost the Esquire was missing off the back of it. Let's throw that away. They're part of our family. They're friends. They're people that we know and respect and have seen for so long. Scott Moyer raced alongside Ben Townley in motocross and was a very good rider, top 10 in New Zealand motocross. Mitch Rees, he's still got a Honda CRF 450 in the garage at home. The Tony Rees motorcycle bike, of course, he's still at a top 3 placing in the likes of the Tarawera 100 and other great off-road events. Sloane Frost coming from motocross as well. 26th, I think this is the 27th year now since I first met Sloane and his racing, back from a motocross era as well. So our guys that have got it down with lovely tires and junior motocross, and now the creme de la creme of New Zealand.
Starting to shape up here. Robbie Buckton's joined a couple of good Kiwis just up ahead of them, and Alistair Hugenboozem and Sloane Frost. They will be together this time round, I would of thing. Scotty and Mitch have got pretty clear advantages, but the racing is 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th at the moment.
In fact, even if we go to the 5th place of Robbie Bugden, look at that, you're only talking about 4 seconds from the 1st to 5th place. So that's obviously a gap between 5 riders is 4 places. So approximately 1 second each. Super close, super exciting, and getting down to the business end. Luckily, of course, that we've had those 2 crashes, and both of those, first of all, Daniel Metham and then Damon Rees, have not resulted in a red flag. In fact, only a very short yellow. So we've still got some great racing to go on here on a very safe and comfortable track at the moment.
Yeah, just having a look at this battle, it's hotting up 3rd, 4th and 5th. If you're out on the track, give your favourite rider some encouragement. At the moment, Sloane Frost hanging on by the skin of his teeth from Alistair Hugenbosen. Robbie Bugden right there. Bugden, all the racecraft in the world. No change at the top end of the field. Moyer from Rees, Frost, Hugenbosen, Bugden, Lyons on the Kawasaki and Zamperi. So there we go. Don't forget the legend signing happening right about now as we look for the leaders. They work their way down to the back end of the circuit here at Hampton Downs. And the last time round, 2.391 seconds between Mitch Rees and Scott Moyer, although obviously it's the other way around. It's Moyer leading on the Suzuki from the Honda. So let's see what it is this time. White flag is out. 1 to go for Scott Moyer. And he's stretched it out a little bit here, Neil. It's going to be over 3 seconds. It is 3.203 seconds. But still not expressly fast, and it doesn't have to be when you've got advantages like that.
Well, the interesting factor is he has stretched it out over second, but look at what Robbie Bugden has done. He's taken that 4.06 down to a 3.5, so he's taken half a second off that overall group, so that whole group has come together in that final lap. Can Mitch Rees held on? He was looking good in that second place. It was a further get back to Sloane. He's closed it. He's got the pressure coming from Alistair. Alistair's got the pressure.
Third, I think Sloane Frost has got up ahead of him. Don't want to preempt it, got that wrong last time as they work their way through Swampy's curves and heading out onto the Kev's Carousel. Next corner will be 2 corners in one. That's the double B, the double bastard. No doubt about the leader. He's still got the healthy advantage, but it is closed right up. Mitch Rees, Sloane Frost, Alistair Hugenbosen, Robbie Bugden.
We've got it on our camera here. There it is. Still Mitch Rees holding second, so could well have changed.
Another one down here at the high ball here.
Two riders go down here. Oh, they might have touched. Two of them down. Oh, there we go. And quickly going over. One of the riders down and staying down as the marshals are quickly on the scene. Good work. And we've gone to red. We've gone to red. So there we go. We've gone to red. But that of course will go back to the last lap. It will go back. I'm sure they're going to declare that because we were on in the latter part of the race.
It was the last lap.
Yeah, it was the last lap. So there you go. It should be Scott Hood. Well, in fact, of course, there's the old adage again. Because the race, if so declared, them going down won't make any difference to the result. It might have lost the potential to change in their favour, but well done. And one of those riders still down on the track. A marshal is there quickly to attend and looking at A-OK. The other one's got up on the inside, the infield, so just unsure. Let's try and work out a process of elimination of who we do get to come back here into pit lane. Now, some have stopped down there. I think that looks to be Mitch as one of those. I get the idea. We've got Al Hugenbosen down there also. Quickly, we
just got to watch the procedure here because if you cast your mind back a year, there was all sorts of controversy about what happened on a red flag situation. The ambulance sadly has gone out onto the circuit.
Right, so there's Jay Lawrence. Okay, so we've got Jay there. Here we are with the number 6. So this is Mitch doing
I think they've got the word that this one's been declared. Neil, heading back into the pit lane.
We'll head down there.